House come to order. Members, proceed to your seats. Will the members please rise to the invocation delivered by Dr. Jeff Eaton, Hope Community Church of Frankfort, Kentucky, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thanks for your service. Be safe going home. Let's pray together. Father, you've given us a day. It's your day, not ours, but you give it to us, and we thank you for it. Thank you for your grace and your mercy. And with the words of the psalmist, I pray over us today, this body. May the words of our hearts and the meditations of our minds, Lord, be pleasing unto you, O Lord, our strength, our rock, and our Redeemer. It's in the name of Jesus I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk will sound the chimes. Members, indicate your presence. Clerk will take the roll. There being 89 members indicating their presence, a quorum is declared and the House is ready to proceed. Next order of business, the excuse of absent members. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the absent members be excused in accordance with the House rules.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules for the purpose of allowing members to co-sponsor bills and resolutions or to submit vote modifications and have filed the proper papers with the clerk to do so.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order of business, the approval of the journal. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the Clerk of the Senate.
Chair recognizes the Clerk of the Senate. Good morning, Madam Clerk.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. The Senate has passed Senate Bills 34, 97, 100, and 261, and Senate Joint Resolution 62, and respectfully request concurrence of this honorable body.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Go Cats.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the Journal from Thursday, March 12, 2026 be approved.
Without objection, the Journal from Thursday, March 12, 2026 is approved. Next order of business is second reading of bills. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 583, Representative Riley, an act relating to the school-based Medicaid program. House Bill 642 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Tipton, an act relating to the Kentucky Teachers Retirement System. House Bill 683, Representative Upchurch, an act relating to recreation and tourism development. House Bill 778 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Wilson, an act relating to child welfare. House Bill 781 with House Committee Sub 1 and House Committee Amendment 1, the title amendment, Representative Lockett, an act relating to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Education and Training Plan. House Concurrent Resolution 103, Representative Duval, a concurrent resolution establishing the Healthcare Workers Task Force to identify strategies to increase the number of healthcare professionals while maintaining high-quality standards of care. House Concurrent Resolution 113, Representative Moser, a concurrent resolution establishing the Rural Health Transformation Task Force. House Joint Resolution 110, with House Floor Amendments 1 and 2, the title amendment, Representative Sharp, a joint resolution directing the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security to conduct investigations measuring the Commonwealth's capabilities and vulnerabilities during a potential conflict in the Indo-Pacific and European regions. Senate Bill 18, Senator Richardson, an act relating to the practice of podiatry. Senate Bill 59, with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1, Senator Rawlings, an act relating to prohibited uses of tax dollars and resources. Senate Bill 160, Senator Carroll, an act relating to child care centers and declaring an emergency. Senate Bill 173, Senator Gibbons, an act relating to legislative oversight of the Medicaid state plan and declaring an emergency. Senate Bill 191, with House Floor Amendment 1, Senator Carroll, an act relating to the Kentucky Kindergarten Readiness Performance-Based Child Care Incentive Pilot Program. And Senate Joint Resolution 74, Senator Storm, a joint resolution directing the Legislative Research Commission and state agencies to collaborate to create a statewide fiscal map of substance use disorder programs and funding sources.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business, report of committees, there being no need. Next order of business, the orders of the day. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that Senate Bill 183 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is made and seconded that Senate Bill 183 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
Senate Bill 183, an act relating to the regulation of proxy advisory services. Senator Nunn.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Edmondson for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Edmondson for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, it's a pleasure to present Senate Bill 183 on behalf of my good friend, the Senator from Scott. Would ask that the clerk please report House Committee Substitute 1.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to Senate Bill 183.
Gentleman from Edmondson.
The committee substitute does three things. One, it adds the definition for default recommendation or policy. It also, in subsection 4 of section 3, adds a limiting of causes of actions against nonprofit organizations that was requested going through the legislative process, and makes a few technical corrections as well. Be happy to answer any questions. If not, I would move the adoption of the House Committee Substitute.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Edmondson.
We could call the bill that you have before you in Senate Bill 183, Senate Bill 183 2.0. The General Assembly last year passed Senate Bill 183, addressing a very similar issue to the issue that we have before us today, to protect Kentucky state pension holders from activist investors who seek to push ideological or political agendas through publicly traded companies, typically to the detriment of shareholders or employees. In this version of the bill, we don't just protect pension holders, we protect all investors in publicly traded companies by ensuring transparency and accountability related to proxy voting advice. Proxy advisors are firms paid to provide research, ratings, and recommendations on how shareholders should vote on corporate matters, things like board elections, mergers, corporate restructuring, and other shareholder proposals. These firms can influence votes tied to Kentucky's retirement accounts, pension investments, mutual funds, and individual institutional investment portfolios. To protect Kentucky investors, this bill does two things. It requires disclosures to investors when a proxy advisor is giving advice that is not solely in the financial interest of a company, potentially sacrificing investor returns and having a negative impact on the company's operations. And two, it provides mechanisms whereby failure to comply is treated as a deceptive trade practice under Kentucky consumer protection law. This bill does not prohibit proxy advisors from giving recommendations they believe are appropriate. It does not tell any investors how they must vote, and it requires nothing of the publicly traded companies doing business in Kentucky. What it does is it just simply puts a transparency burden solely on the proxy advisors, requiring truth and transparency in the proxy advice they provide. If a proxy advisor is using non-financial factors, they must disclose those clearly and back it up with an economic analysis. That's what the bill does, Mr. Speaker. Happy to answer any questions, but I would move passage of House Bill 180 or Senate Bill 183 as amended by the House Committee Substitute.
Question before the body is passage of Senate Bill 183 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 81 members voting aye, 6 members voting nay, Senate Bill 183 is amended by House Committee Substitute 1 is passed. Gentleman from Edmondson.
Move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 682 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 682 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 682, an act relating to residency requirements for fire protection entities and declaring an emergency. Representative Meade.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Lincoln for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Lincoln for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In our state, we have two types of fire departments, the Chapter 75s and the Chapter 273s. Chapter 75s, of course, are taxing districts, and the 273s typically will have a membership fee associated with them. What we are doing in this bill is saying that if you're going to serve on those boards where you'll either be raising taxes or charging fees, that you are going to be required to be a resident of that district, that those fees and taxes must affect you in some way. That's simply all the bill does. However, I've been working with the Firefighters Association over the past several days, and there was one concern that they asked me to address. The Chapter 75s many times when they're paid positions, hire their firefighters from outside the district. And 2 of these positions on these boards are always firefighter representatives. So they have asked if we could say that if they are a full-time paid employee, if we could exempt them to be on those boards, because they do have a vested interest in it. They are getting paid by the district, and they are, of course, going to do what's best for that district at all times. So we have done that in House Floor Amendment 2, and so, Mr. Speaker, I would need to ask the clerk to call House Floor Amendment 2.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 682.
Gentleman from Lincoln.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's what it does, is it exempts those full-time paid employees of the fire district to be able to serve on that board as well. So if there be no questions, Mr. Speaker, I would move for adoption of House Floor Amendment 2.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 2. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 2 is adopted. Gentleman from Lincoln.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After the adoption of that floor amendment, the Firefighters Association has told me that they are now in support of the bill, along with KCO and KLC. So, Mr. Speaker, with that, I would move passage of House Bill 682 as amended by House Floor Amendment 2.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 682 as amended by House Floor Amendment 2. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. 91 members voting aye, no members voting nay. House Bill 682, as amended by House Floor Amendment 2, is passed. Gentleman from Lincoln.
Move clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 692 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a 3rd time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 692 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the 3rd time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 692, an act relating to data privacy. Representative Branscombe.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman for Russell for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Russell for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 692 is a continuation and builds upon the great work that this General Assembly did in passing the Kentucky Consumer Data Protection Act. For those of you who were here, I made the comment in 24 that this will not be the last time that we touch this statute, particularly as new technologies emerge, the increasing use and development of artificial intelligence, and just other technologies that may not exist yet. I'm confident that we'll continue to update and refine our Consumer Data Protection Act, which has really served as a model across the country. That continuation of protecting consumer data is what we're doing here today. House Bill 692 specifically targets and addresses the usage of automatic content recognition, specifically in smart televisions and smart monitors. Now, I'll say that again, specifically to smart televisions and smart monitors. Just to give you a little background on automatic content recognition, or ACR, roughly every half a second or up to every few seconds, your smart television is taking very small snapshots or audio-video fingerprints of what you're watching at home or what's on the screen in your boardrooms. This includes content coming from cable boxes, streaming apps, gaming consoles, or any other device being displayed on the screen through inputs. These aren't full recordings, but rather extracting a digital fingerprint. This data is then collected on the back end and used for numerous things, and specifically for targeted advertising. And Mr. Speaker, I would venture to say that the majority, if not almost all consumers, are unaware that their smart televisions are doing this. And I firmly believe that the act of a consumer purchasing a smart television or smart monitor does not constitute the forfeiture of your rights with regards to the collection of your sensitive data. While this bill is not making ACR illegal, we are making it to where the consumer must opt in versus having to opt out. How we did that exactly was to rely on a provision within the framework of our existing Data Privacy Act, particularly KRS 367.3617, which is not in this bill, which states that sensitive data concerning a consumer cannot be collected without the consumer's consent or opting in. So all we did in this bill, as you will see, is that we added automatic content recognition data as sensitive data, which triggers the requirement for an opt-in. You'll also see that we have excluded mobile devices and voice assistant devices. Finally, you'll see an effective date of July 1, 2027. And this is very important in that it gives the manufacturers time to implement and allows for a short session, us to come in a short session before that implementation date in case there is something that we need to clean up. And with this legislation, we may be one of, if not the first state in the nation to address this. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I move for passage of House Bill 692.
Question before the body's passage of House Bill 692. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. 92 members voting aye, no members voting nay. House Bill 692 is passed. Gentleman from Russell.
Move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 567 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 567 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 567, an act relating to open records. Representative Flannery.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Carter for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Carter for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before discussing the bill, I would ask the clerk to please report House Floor Amendment Number 1.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 567.
Gentleman from Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Floor Amendment 1 is the result of some what I would call constructive criticism that I received after the committee hearing on this. And constructive criticism is not always a bad thing, but the concern from some of the members of the press and I guess other concerned citizens, they wanted to be sure that the ID that would be requested under this bill, if the local agency would require that, to be sure that that would not have to be hand-delivered to the public agency, resulting in maybe kind of a burdensome issue where someone would have to drive from the proverbial Paducah to Parkville to make this request. So this floor amendment addresses that and makes clear that they would have to accept that if submitted by mail, fax, or other electronic means. So that being said, I would move for adoption of House Floor Amendment Number 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion of the floor amendment? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Carter.
House Bill 567 addresses an issue of practical application we are seeing with Kentucky's Open Records Act. Current law limits open record requests to residents of the Commonwealth with certain exceptions for the media and public agencies. However, there is no statutory provision that allows an agency to require a requestor to provide proof of residency. Agencies across Kentucky, including law enforcement and local governments, are seeing increasingly high volume requests from what appears to be automated chatbots that would actually, not a person, and a non-resident entity that simply check the box claiming they are Kentucky residents with no verification. This bill with the floor amendment will ensure that the current law is being enforced that we have on the books. This situation with the bombardment of these requests results in a strain on taxpayer resources and time and can slow agency responses to otherwise valid requests made by Kentucky residents, news gathering organizations, and other needed services that are provided by our police and local agencies that have to deal with these what we would consider unlawful requests. This is a reasonable way for agencies to apply Kentucky's residency requirement and a practical application by creating this option for agencies to adopt a policy that a requestor must show government-issued photo identification that includes that person's address to verify that they are an in-state resident. If someone does not have a photo ID, the agency may accept another form of documentation that shows Kentucky residency. This bill also clarifies that foreign entities with a physical presence in Kentucky qualifies residents, and it removes individuals or entities acting on behalf of others from the definition of resident for purposes of submitting a request. I'm happy to answer any questions. If there are none, I move for passage of House Bill 567 as amended by House Floor Amendment Number 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 567 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 76 for explanation of vote not to exceed 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the sponsor for the amendment on this. I've also heard from a lot of open government advocates about this as well. It is a real problem when we have so many people and bots coming in and trying to get open records. I just feel like there are other ways, such as the CAPTCHA system, that we can that public entities could use to prevent bots from overloading the system. And I am very concerned about making sure that people still feel like they have access to our government. So thank you for this, and thank you for the amendment, but I'm still a no. Thank you.
Have all members voted? Clerk will take the roll. That means 71 members voting aye, 19 members voting nay. House Bill 567, as amended by House Floor Amendment 1, is passed. Gentleman from Carter?
Move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken?
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 380 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 380 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 380, an act relating to the regulation of virtual currency kiosk business. Representative Smith.
Gentleman from McCracken?
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Knox for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Knott for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill that we're introducing today deals with kiosks that are in our convenient stores and also grocery stores across the state, having over 500 locations. Before we get started, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the clerk to report House Committee Substitute 1.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 380.
Gentleman from Knox.
Move for its passage.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Knox.
Also, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to yield to the gentleman from Edmondson on a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Edmondson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to commend the gentleman from Knox for his good work on this bill. This is a bill about consumer protection and making sure that folks in Kentucky are protected from scams and frauds and other things when related to these machines. like the clerk to please report House Floor Amendment 2.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 380.
Gentleman from Edmondson.
So House Floor Amendment 2 relates to one of those consumer protections. There is a provision in this bill that came from the Senate bill on the same topic, and I think Louisiana's law related to a 72-hour hold. That was applied to all transactions and not just transactions for new users. The amendment will correct that and just say the 72-hour hold or 72-hour full refund only applies to new users, folks within their first 30 days of using the programs related to these machines. Everything else in there is just a technical amendment that was provided by staff in fixing some small errors. That's what it does. Happy to answer any questions, but if not, move passage of House Floor Amendment 2.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 2. Is there any discussion of the floor amendment? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 2 is adopted. Gentleman from Knox.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Also, I'd like for the clerk to report House Floor Amendment 3.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 3 to House Bill 380.
Gentleman from Knox.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask for suspension of the rules. This amendment could be considered a piggyback, and I'd like that to be considered for adoption on House Floor Amendment 3.
Motion of the gentleman from Knox is for suspension of the rules for the purpose of allowing action on House Floor Amendment 3, which has been flagged as a piggyback. Motion takes constitutional majority of 51, is non-debatable. Those in favor of suspension of the rules for the purpose of allowing action on House Floor Amendment 3, vote aye. Roll call is open for your vote. Clerk will take the roll. Being 73 members voting aye, rules are suspended for the purpose of allowing action on House Floor Amendment 3. Gentleman from Knox.
I'll start off by explaining what we just voted on. I think there was a second on that. Actually, what the Floor Amendment 3 does, it brings in a device that's going to be, that's used for what the kiosks are used for. This is a crypto currency kiosk. And those that hadn't seen one, just imagine an ATM when you walk into a business. The difference is when you walk in there, it'll say Bitcoin or it'll have a name to it, but it's dealing strictly with crypto. And when we were looking at this, a gentleman from Edmondson, AARP, came to us and started telling us about the activities that was happening with this. Elderly people were being called and asked to go and put cash into these. Now, these only receive cash, they don't disperse. They were told immediately, and I've talked to a few of the members here, they told me other stories that's happened to them in their area, that if you don't go down immediately, you've got a warrant that's coming to your house. Or if you don't do this right now, your accounts are going to be seized. It's all these fraudulent people out there that are preying on our elderly and even our middle class. So in looking into this, there was no regulation on these kiosks. So this is a really in-depth bill. And I'll try to summarize it to where the gentleman from Wayne won't call me down. This legislation establishes a framework for the regulation of virtual currency kiosks in Kentucky. It aligns substantially with the existing regulatory framework for money transmitters. At least 19 other states have enacted legislation to regulate these. The key components is it requires every virtual currency kiosk operator to be regulated and licensed by the Kentucky Department of Financial Institutions. It establishes trade practices requirements for kiosk operators. It requires consumers to provide disclosures about the risk the terms and the conditions of each of the transactions. It requires kiosk operators to implement practices of policy to reduce risk and fraud and illegal activity. It requires specific guardrails for transactions. Before this gets enacted, right now they can put as much money in them as they want, $50,000, $100,000. What we've done is we put it at a $2,000 a day maximum. And also what we do is we require every transaction to identify who is doing it. So it's similar to your debit card that you use at a bank. When you go in, you're identified. Every transaction from $1 up will identify who's using this kiosk. Now what Floor Amendment 3 is called a wallet. And you can't do any of these transactions without a wallet. That's where the crypto is stored. And it basically just says that if you are a wallet company, you sell to our consumers in this state, and their assets are placed in that wallet, that they have access to that. Even if they lose their information, like you lose your debit card, you can go back to the bank and get another one. All this bill does is it protects the consumer if they cannot get into their wallet for any reason, that the company has to assist them to be able to get their assets. So with all that explanation, Mr. Speaker, I move for passage of House Bill 380. I'm going to move for adoption of Floor Amendment 3.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 3. Is there any discussion of the floor amendment? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 3 is adopted. Gentleman from Knox, now your motion.
Okay, I'm going to go right down the line, Mr. Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 380 as amended by the Committee Substitute 1, as amended by House Floor Amendment 2, and as amended by House Floor Amendment 3.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 380 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, House Floor Amendment 2, and House Floor Amendment 3. Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 41 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just have a quick question.
He will yield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for this good bill, gentlemen. And will the regulators be checking the kiosk on a schedule to make sure that they're doing what the bill says they're supposed to be doing? Is there a schedule, or how many of these kiosks are around anyway?
Gentleman from Knox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's over 500 in the state of Kentucky, so there is an abundance. On the regulations, it's like any other licensing, they'll be required to report.
Lady from Jefferson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lady from Jefferson.
Just on a regular basis, they'll be checking them according to
Gentleman from
their own
Knox.
schedules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ma'am, my understanding is it's regulated under the finance cabinet, so whatever ATMs and other machines do, it's under the same parallel regulation.
Lady from Jefferson.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 380 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, House Floor Amendment 2, and House Floor Amendment 3. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 32 for explanation of vote not to exceed 2 minutes.
Yes, so I'm voting yes because it's a really good piece of legislation, but also because my son used to mine Bitcoins, and if there were a way to get his wallet, that little teeny bit of a Bitcoin he had left, he may be able to find and cash in for a lot of money now. So, thank you.
Have all members voted? Clerk will take the roll. There being 85 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 380 is amended by House Committee Substitute 1, House Floor Amendment 1, House Floor Amendment 3, and House Floor Amendment 2 is passed. Gentleman from Knox.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like for the clerk to report House Floor Amendment 4, the title amendment.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 4, the title amendment to House Bill 380.
Gentleman from Knox.
Move for adoption.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Knox.
Move for the clincher.
Without objection, clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 248 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 248 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 248, an act relating to hospital police departments. Representative Williams.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Hopkins for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Hopkins for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, oftentimes we get caught up in the legislative process and the grind of that, and we forget how our legislation will impact those people that we're working to help. And I can say for a fact that House Bill 248 will help us protect our healthcare workers and our citizens in our hospitals. Healthcare workers today are increasingly find themselves in a dangerous work environment. While they're only 10% of our workforce, they suffer 80% of the workplace violence injuries. Nurses, doctors, hospital staff regularly deal with volatile situations, mental health crises, drug overdoses, domestic violence incidents, and highly emotional emergencies. And our hospitals are unique. They operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can't turn people away during a crisis. And they often serve as a place where some of the most difficult moments in people's lives occur. When violence or dangerous situations arise, hospital staff shouldn't have to face this alone. And we often find that local law enforcement response times are slow enough that they make a critical impact. This legislation simply gives hospitals a tool to better protect the people quickly, professionally, while they're inside their facilities. This bill allows licensed hospitals in Kentucky the option, not the mandate, to establish their own police departments staffed by fully certified law enforcement officers. These officers must meet the same certification standards required by other police officers in the Commonwealth and would have clearly defined authority primarily on hospital property and related facilities. And importantly, this bill does not replace or reduce the authority of local police departments, sheriffs, or the Kentucky State Police. Local law enforcement retains full authority, and it will allow them to do and spend more time in their own jurisdictions. Hospitals today functions like small cities. Large campuses operate around the clock, employ thousands of people, and serve thousands more patients and visitors every day. In situations where seconds matter, having trained law enforcement already on site could make the difference in protecting lives. Members, at the core of this bill is about protecting the people who dedicate their lives for caring for others, our nurses, our doctors, our healthcare workers, and ensuring patients and family can receive care in a safe environment. This legislation gives hospitals the ability to respond quickly in dangerous situations. Nearly 30 states already allow hospitals to establish their own police departments. Kentucky isn't inventing something new. We're catching up with what hospitals across the country are doing to protect nurses, doctors, and patients. This bill is supported by the Kentucky Association of Chiefs of Police, Kentucky Sheriff's Association, Nurses Association, the Kentucky Medical Association, the FOP, and I've personally heard from 8 presidents of both rural and urban hospitals. Mr. Speaker, with that, I move passage of House Bill 248.
Question before the body's passage of House Bill 248. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 84 members voting aye, 4 members voting nay, House Bill 248 is passed. Gentleman from Hopkins.
Mr. Speaker, I move the clincher.
Without objection, so order. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 816 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 816 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 816, an act relating to authorizing the payment of certain claims against the state, which have been duly audited and approved according to law and have not been paid because of the lapsing or insufficiency of former appropriations against which the claims were chargeable, or the lack of an appropriate procurement document in place, making an appropriation, therefore, and declaring an emergency. Representative Rudy.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, House Bill 816 has a really long title that accurately describes the bill. I would have you know, even though it seems unusually long, the title, we pass this bill, or a very similar bill, every single session. As a matter of fact, every session I have been here but one, the claims bill became law. The only time it hadn't become law was the other time that I sponsored the claims bill. I was a freshman in the minority, and then Speaker Richards said no freshman in the minority is going to pass any bills, so the claims bill did not get passed that year. Now that was some sound public policy, wasn't it? Folks, these are the bills that are due. I would ask the clerk to report House Committee Substitute number 1, House Bill 816.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 816.
Gentleman from McCracken.
I would move its adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from McCracken.
House Committee Substitute 1 is just updates. These are things that are provided to the Appropriations and Revenue team for these claims against the Commonwealth. The committee substitute were just some updates of some things that had come in since the bill was filed. This has all been vetted through the Finance Cabinet, through the Appropriations and Revenue Committee, and Mr. Speaker, I move for passage of House Bill 816 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 816 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 91 members voting aye, 1 member voting nay, House Bill 816 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 is passed. Gentleman from McCracken.
Out of consistency, I move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that concludes the other orders of the day.
Next order of business is motions, petitions, communications, and announcements. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I have several motions I need to make, but before I do make those, I need to yield to the gentleman from Menifee for a very important announcement to the Committee on State Government.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Menifee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the members of the state government, we will have a special called meeting on Monday at 2 p.m. Monday at 2 p.m., special call meeting of the State Government Committee. Thank you.
Members take note. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 792 be taken from the Committee on Agriculture, given its first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Agriculture.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 792, Representative Pollack, an act relating to the Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement Fund.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that Senate Bill 90, House Bill 515, House Bill 546, House Bill 547, House Bill 614, House Bill 640, House Bill 666, House Bill 672, House Bill 673, House Bill 674, House Bill 675, House Bill 787, and House Bill 844 be taken from the Committee on Appropriations and Revenue, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Appropriations and Revenue.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
Senate Bill 90, Senator Storm, an act relating to the Behavioral Health Conditional Dismissal Program. House Bill 515, Representative Petrie, an act relating to revenue. House Bill 546, Representative Petrie, an act relating to taxation. House Bill 547, Representative Petrie, an act relating to fiscal matters. House Bill 614, Representative Petrie, an act relating to revenue. House Bill 640, Representative Petrie, an act relating to taxation. House Bill 666, Representative Rudy, an act relating to taxation. House Bill 672, Representative Petrie, an act relating to branch budget bills. House Bill 673, Representative Petrie, an act relating to branch budget bills. House Bill 674, Representative Petrie, an act relating to branch budget recommendations. House Bill 675, Representative Petrie, an act relating to fiscal matters. House Bill 787, Representative Petrie, an act relating to branch budget recommendations. And House Bill 844, Representative Bray, an act relating to municipal interlocal gas utilities.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that Senate Bill 57 and Senate Bill 69 be taken from the Committee on Committees, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Committees.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
Senate Bill 57, Senator Carroll, an act relating to nuclear energy development. And Senate Bill 69, Senator Rocky Adams, an act relating to the Autism Spectrum Disorder Trust Fund and declaring an emergency.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 732, 796, 797, 819, 888, 890, 926, 935, and 936 be taken from the Committee on Economic Development and Workforce Investment, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Economic Development and Workforce Investment.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 732, Representative Gordon, an act relating to worker benefits. House Bill 796, Representative Branscombe, an act relating to economic development. House Bill 797, Representative Branscombe, an act relating to workforce investment. House Bill 819, Representative Osborne, an act relating to economic development. House Bill 888, Representative Bray, an act relating to collective bargaining agreements and declaring an emergency. House Bill 890, Representative Branscombe, an act relating to economic development. House Bill 926, Representative Miles, an act relating to economic development. House Bill 935, Representative Rudy, an act relating to workers' compensation. And House Bill 936, Representative Rudy, an act relating to the Kentucky Business Investment Program.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 8, House Bill 112, House Bill 573, House Bill 775, House Bill 812, and House Concurrent Resolution 45 be taken from the Committee on Elections, Constitutional Amendments, and Intergovernmental Affairs, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Elections, Constitutional Amendments, and Intergovernmental Affairs.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 8, Representative Osborne, an act proposing to amend the Constitution of Kentucky relating to sessions of the General Assembly. House Bill 112, Representative Brown, an act proposing an amendment to Section 25 of the Constitution of Kentucky relating to slavery and involuntary servitude as a punishment for crime. House Bill 573, Representative Johnson, an act relating to campaign finance. House Bill 775, Representative Decker, an act relating to selection and oversight of Article 5 convention delegates and declaring an emergency. House Bill 812, Representative Meade, an act relating to elections. House Concurrent Resolution 45, Representative Petrie, a concurrent resolution calling on the United States Congress to submit to the states for ratification a balanced budget amendment to the United States Constitution and making a formal application to Congress under Article 5 of the United States Constitution to call a convention for the sole purpose of proposing for ratification and amendment to the United States Constitution, which requires a balanced federal budget.
Gentleman from McCracken.
That one may have had a longer title than mine. Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 509, 523, 691, 815, 866, and 879 be taken from the Committee on Families and Children, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Families and Children.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 509, Representative Heverin, an act relating to operations within the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. House Bill 523, Representative Heverin, an act relating to families and children. House Bill 691, Representative Dietz, an act relating to the medical treatment of high acuity youth. House Bill 815, Representative Miles, an act relating to child welfare. House Bill 866, Representative Holloway, an act relating to guardianship proceedings. And House Bill 879, Representative Riley, an act relating to guardianship.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 889 be taken from the Committee on Judiciary, given its first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Judiciary.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 889, Representative Decker, an act relating to operations within the Department of Corrections and declaring an emergency.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that Senate Bill 9, Senate Bill 40, Senate Bill 141, House Bill 72, 492, 530, 617, 618, 702, 703, 755, 761, 765, 802, 803, 808, 851, 911, and 939 be taken from the Committee on Local Government, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Local Government.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
Senate Bill 9, Senator Mills, an act relating to housing districts. Senate Bill 40, Senator Boswell, an act relating to public library district boards of trustees. Senate Bill 141, Senator Gibbons, an act relating to legal advertisements. House Bill 72, Representative Rourke's, an act relating to hazardous duty retirement for code enforcement personnel of a consolidated local government. House Bill 492, Representative Chris Lewis, an act relating to certified court security officers. House Bill 530, Representative White, an act relating to permits. House Bill 617, Representative Whitten, an act relating to planning and zoning. House Bill 618, Representative Whitten, an act relating to residential housing. House Bill 702, Representative Flannery, an act relating to local government. House Bill 703, Representative Flannery, an act relating to land use. House Bill 755, Representative Nemes, an act relating to associations and individual representation rights. House Bill 761, Representative Lehman, an act relating to riverport authorities and declaring an emergency. House Bill 765, Representative Tackett Lafferty, an act relating to volunteer fire departments. House Bill 802, Representative Flannery, an act relating to planning and zoning. House Bill 803, Representative Flannery, an act relating to county jails. House Bill 808, Representative Derek Lewis, an act relating to restaurant tax. House Bill 851, Representative Freeland, an act relating to reporting requirements. House Bill 911, Representative Rudy, an act relating to planning and zoning. And House Bill 939, Representative Rudy, an act relating to cities.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 766 and House Bill 826 be taken from the Committee on Post-Secondary Education, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Post-Secondary Education.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 766, Representative Bratcher, an act relating to student housing. And House Bill 826, Representative Tipton, an act relating to adult education.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 661 and House Concurrent Resolution 108 be taken from the Committee on Primary and Secondary Education, given their first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Primary and Secondary Education.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 661, Representative Klein's, an act relating to school property. House Concurrent Resolution 108, Representative Klein's, a concurrent resolution establishing the Early Childhood Education Governance and Outcomes Task Force.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 887 be taken from the Committee on State Government, given its first reading, and then returned to the Committee on State Government.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 887, Representative Johnson, an act relating to office space leases for the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority and declaring an emergency.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 601 be taken from the Committee on Transportation, given its first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Transportation.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 601, Representative Decker, an act relating to highway access.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 767 be taken from the Committee on Veterans, Military Affairs, Public Protection, given its first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 767, Representative Fugit, an act relating to emergency management and declaring an emergency.
Gentleman from McCracken.
And, Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 272 be taken from the Committee on State Government, given its second reading, and then returned to the Committee on State Government.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 272, Representative Upchurch, an act relating to legislative ethics.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, did I eat up the whole 15 minutes?
Not quite, gentlemen.
Okay. Well, I'm done.
Chair recognizes the lady from Scott. For what purpose, ma'am?
To make an announcement.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Speaker, the Japan America Society of Kentucky is hosting a seminar on tariffs, international trade, and immigration this afternoon in Lexington from 4 to 5:30 at Denham Blythe, followed by a reception for Kentucky-Japan caucus members at the Vine beginning at 6 p.m. All legislators are invited.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 37. For what purpose, ma'am?
Recognize a guest.
Yes, ma'am.
My husband Chris is here with us today, so I'd like to welcome him and wish him a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Spencer. For what purpose, sir?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to call legislative citation.
Yes, sir.
Would you have the clerk report citation 72 by title only, please?
Clerk, please report.
Citation 72, Representative Tipton, citation of adjournment. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky does hereby adjourn this legislative day in loving memory and honor of Julie Spur Sweezy.
Gentleman from Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've done several of these in my time in the House, and this one hits close to home. Julie Sweezy was a dear friend. She was the administrator for the Spencer County Planning and Zoning Office. As many of you know, that can be a very difficult job, but she handled that job with grace, kindness, and dignity. We lost her very suddenly on Monday evening. Julie will be missed by her loving parents, Rudolph and Jenny Spur, her husband of 32 years, Doug, her children, Samantha and Patrick, sisters Reba, Sandy, and Sheila, and so many other family and friends in the Spencer County community. Besides, she worked at Spencer County Planning and Zoning for 29 years. She was a faithful member of the Plum Creek Baptist Church, where she sang in the choir, helped with children's ministries, and organized several years of vacation Bible school programs and meals. She was a gifted artist who enjoyed all sorts of decorating and crafts, and a devoted family woman of tremendous faith, generosity, and good humor. And we remember her this day, and she will be profoundly missed by all those lives that were touched by her presence. Move for adoption, Mr. Speaker.
Without objection, so ordered. To recognize the gentleman from Jefferson 48. For what purpose, sir?
Mr. Speaker, I have an announcement.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There will be a Medicaid Oversight Advisory Board held this coming Monday, the 16th, at 11 a.m. in room 154. Thank you.
Members, take note. Time for motions, petitions, communications, and announcements has expired. Next order of business, introduction of new resolutions. Clerk, please report. There being no need. Next order of business is a meeting of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House would stand in recess for a meeting of the Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the clerk's desk.
Without objection, the House shall stand in recess for a meeting of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the clerk's desk. House come to order. Next order of business, the report of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee. Clerk, please report.
The Committee on Committees has met and referred the following bills and resolutions to Agriculture, Senate Bills 37 and 45. To Appropriations and Revenue, Senate Bills 57 and 69. To Banking and Insurance, Senate Bills 157 and 219. To Elections, Constitutional Amendments, and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senate Bills 10 and 80. To Local Government, Senate Bill 133. And to Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection, Senate Bill 104. The Rules Committee has met and posted the following bills and resolutions to the regular orders for Monday, March 16th, 2026. House Bills 78, 442, 541, and 566. Also, the Rules Committee has met. The Rules Committee has met and recommitted the following bills and resolutions. To Appropriations and Revenue, Senate Bill 191.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business, introduction of floor amendments. Please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to Senate Bill 124, Representative Doan. House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 778 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Meade. House Floor Amendment 3 to House Bill 904 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Roberts. And House Floor Amendment 1 to House Concurrent Resolution 113, Representative Moser.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business is adjournment. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Ohio.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. TGIF. There are not many big boy breakfasts or Fridays left. I move that the House shall stand adjourned until 4 p.m. Monday, March 16th, the year of our Lord, 2026.
Without objection, the House shall stand adjourned until 4 p.m. Monday, March 16th, the year of our Lord, 2026.